So I wanted to show you, Jill, another way to go about doing the problem that you and I spent a good deal of time together working out today, that I think is much less tedious than using the formulas that are on your formula sheet. So you choose to do with this what you will, but the first thing you want to do is to fill in this table. You want to square all your x's, and of course these would be 49, 16, 36, 4, 1, 1, and 9. Square all your y's. 2 squared is 4, 4 squared is 16, and so on. And then multiply all of your x's by your y's. So 7 times 2 is 14, 4 times 4 is 16, and so on. So then we need our totals for each of these rows that we've calculated. So the sum of our x squareds are 116. The sum of our y squareds are 159. And the sum of all of our x's times y is 80. Now, to find the sum of the squares for x squared, we have to use this first formula. So it says take the sum of your x squareds, which is 116, subtract the sum of your x's, and I forgot to fill those in, give me a moment. Those are 24 and 31. So subtract the sum of your x's squared, so we're going to take the 24 and square it, and divide that answer by the number of observations, in our case 7. And you have a number that should look familiar to you based upon our other calculations of 33.7143. There's our sum of our squares for xx. To do the sum of square for y, we do the same thing, except this time we take the sum of our y squareds, which are 159, subtract the sum of our y's and square that answer, so that'd be subtracting 31 squared, and again divide by the number of observations that we have. And we get the sum of the squares for y equal to 21.7143, which we didn't have to use in our calculations, but in case you need to see it on your exam tomorrow, good to know. Then to find the sum of the squares for xy, we have to take the sum of our x times y, which is 80, and subtract the sum of the x's multiplied by the sum of the y's, so that would be 24 times 31, and once again divide by the number of observations. And we get the sum of our xy's equal to negative 26.2857. So now to get our regression equation. First, the slope. We have to take the sum of our xy's, which is the negative 26.2857, and divide by the sum of our x squareds, which is 33.7143. And this number should also look familiar. We get a slope equal to negative 0.7797. To get our y-intercept, we're going to need to use this final formula, which is on your formula sheet. Both of these last two are. We're going to need to take the mean of our y's, which is 4.4286. Subtract our slope that we've determined, which is negative 0.7797, and multiply that by the mean of our x's of 3.4286. And when we do this, we'll have our y-intercept. This number should also look familiar to you. It's 7.1019. So finally, our regression equation we know is y hat equals beta sub 0 plus beta sub 1 times x. So that regression equation would be our final answer here. Y hat equals, our beta sub 0 is 7.1019 plus our beta sub 1 is negative 0.7797 times x. Just another way to go about getting that the slope and y-intercept of your regression equation that's much less tedious than using the formulas that are on your formula sheet. Let me know if you have any questions.